There's a Donzi Classic on a custom built trailer inside this trailer. Don't believe me? Let's check it out. What's up, guys? Kurt with Motor City Donzi here, and this is the setup. 1975 all original Donzi ski sporter on a custom built trailer tucked inside a 28-foot car hauler. This is what I call the toter rig. You got the normal trailer and you got the Donzi toter inside. So I built this because I wanted to be able to pull this boat anywhere without having to worry about weather, road conditions, debris flying at it. And I get a lot of questions about how it's set up, how it works, why does it work, why shouldn't it work, all you know how the internet goes. And so I said, let's make a little video just to show you guys exactly what I did and what this trailer used to be, what it is now, and just everything we went through to make this happen, because it keeps the boat safe, dry, everything that you'd want out of an original boat that you don't want anything happening to. So down here we've got the plate that I made for the winch. This actually worked out really neat if anybody needs ideas for winch mounts for their trailers. I just took an old receiver off a truck that was just kind of being scrapped out for parts and welded that to this plate. Underneath I've got a couple pieces of angle iron on two different plates that go on either side of the frame rails, and they just bolt to this. Everything keeps it locked into place. I actually did weld those plates to the frame rails, and then it bolts to this, and so everything is, nothing could ever pull through or loosen up. And yeah, so the winch just locks right in, can come out, ties back in here to the pintle hook, which you probably will never see on another boat trailer, because I don't know why you would. And that's how we pull it in and out with the help of our handy dandy dolly up there, which I'll show you in a minute. And over here is pretty cool too. So because everything on the boat is original, you know, obviously my objective is keeping it safe and keeping it nice and keeping it original. So the cockpit cover, like everything, is 100% original. And even though it's in great shape and made out of great materials, I hate taking that cover off. It makes me so nervous because I'm not just going to bunch it up. I'm not going to throw it in a closet or something. I don't want it to risk cracking or damaging in any way. So what I come up with was I bought a bunch of snaps and put them all on the wall here. And so what I do is just anytime I take the cover off, I just take it and hang it up on the wall on the side here, and then it stays flat, it stays taut. You know, I don't want anything, especially in a trailer like this, the heat builds up like crazy, and I don't want it shrinking. None of those problems. So we put it up there. Anytime it's off the boat, it's either on the boat or it's there, and never have to worry about it. It doesn't get dirty or anything. So I was pretty proud of that. That worked out pretty cool. So we'll take you and show you the dolly that we have to move this whole thing around. So here we have the Donzi toter dolly. When I was originally thinking of this idea, I was hoping that there was enough room to be able to like pull the boat in with a four-wheeler or something and just kind of leave it all hooked up, but there's just not quite enough room. It's a big trailer, but it's not quite big enough. So worked out really good. My buddy, he had this that his dad had built years and years ago, and it had been loaned out to some people. It was in pretty rough condition when I got it. It had been sitting outside in some yard for maybe even a couple years. It was rusted and it needed some love anyways. And so my buddy said, hey, you know, we got this trailer project. Basically you can kind of borrow it indefinitely. And I was like, all right, well, that's how that works for me. And so when I got it and was coming up with kind of the scheme, I was like, well, it needs to be restored anyways. It's rough, you know? And I'm like, if I'm gonna paint it, if I'm gonna go through all that work, let's paint it to match. And then, you know, we'll just see if I have to return it or not. You know, we can always paint it back. And so I ended up painting it up to match the boat. I didn't have the toter trailer at the time, and so I threw in a couple neat little features. Everything goes to kind of match the deck stripe on the boat. So the top of the handle here, I painted that so that it has the same exact stripe pattern as the top of the boat. The wheels, same thing. Got the orange with the black outlines around it. Got the Donzi sticker. I painted over to imprint that on the handle of the dolly. It's the new modern Donzi Z, but it's still, you know, it's Donzi, so I love it. I wanted it on there. So I was playing around with this since I was going to paint it anyways. I've always wanted to practice painting flames. I've never done flame paint jobs or even, you know, practice striping it out or figuring out how to do flames. So I was like, well, template, let's try it. And they're not the best, but they came out okay for the very first time trying to wrap my head around how to do flames. So down here I've got James Norman written across the bottom. I dedicated that to my buddy's dad. He's the one that built this dolly. He just built it to move little trailers around his yard, and he was an amazing welder and engineer, and he owned a grading company. It was pretty funny, after I had repainted it to match the Donzi, since it was on loan, you know, he called me up and said, you know, hey, it looks really good, you know, real impressive paint job and all that, but doesn't seem to match any of my equipment, you know. And he was messing with me. It was pretty cool, but so I wanted to dedicate that to him because I'm honored to have a piece that he built and something that, you know, is as unique as everything else that is going on in this whole operation. So basically, when we're getting set up to go down the road, got the 4-point tie downs. What I do is I got a couple 6x6s I nailed together, and I'll actually crank the trailer up and set it down onto them. I'll leave the landing gear in place, but there's not really any pressure on it. I'd rather it be on something solid than relying or trusting on that. Plus, it's got a wheel. I don't want anything moving. So it actually rests on the blocks, and then it gets ratcheted down. We've taken it around here locally a few times just to test it out after I built it, and everything was good. And then we actually pulled it to Tennessee earlier this year for a Donzi event, and 6.5 hours, thing didn't move an inch. So and that was, when I say there were some mountains, we went through some mountains, and nope, everything was good. The dolly, it'll go, and I'll lay it down in between these brackets, strap it down, everything stays secure. I chock everything. We've actually screwed some wood boards down on either side of the wheels. The winch stays in place so that we have another form of securement. So it gets really locked down. I do cross straps from each of these tie downs. I just kind of keep those in place so I don't have to crawl under there. And it works out pretty good. So let's hook up a battery in this thing. We'll get it winched out of here, show you how that process works, and then I'll walk around the trailer and show you everything I did to that.